violates any of the above items, then that item should be blamed. If not, then their love should be defended or at least not challenged. I do not know the details of their story, but from all the hearsay on the internet, we know that their love story violates neither any state rule or law, nor does it violate love ethics, love civilization, love age, or love morality, and Ms. Wang's reply to journalists showed that their love was based on mutual love and respect, which means that their relationship conformed to the requirements of love relationships. Although he was much older than her, their age was within the proper age range for love. Therefore, the love relationship between them is worthy of affirmation, and we should not only accept it, but should even encourage it. They broke the constraints of traditional concepts under great pressure, posed as a good example for a lot of aged people, swept an obstacle, and created alternative outlets for the romantic desires of the elderly. Such a great disparity of age did not stop their love, which displayed a broad and beautiful love relationship for older people. It is really a beautiful thing for elderly men who may enjoy obtaining a 20-year-old girl's love. The comfort brought to elderly people is that it is absolutely possible to dance a tango on the edge of death. It displayed the beautiful side of human nature. Lifechanyuan would like to give support to love relationships such as Mr. Yang's and Ms. Wang's. We would like to help them resist the sandstorm, severe cold, intense heat, and hailstorms from human society because their love is consistent with human nature and is also consistent with the will of the greatest creator. The love relationship between a female director of a public security bureau in Shenzhen and her subordinates. According to web-based news media, the director of a public security bureau in Shenzhen had love affairs with many of her subordinates who cooperated very willingly. There was nothing wrong with what this director was doing as long as she did not violate any item of the above love principles because it was her right. A lot of people sneered at her diverse taste for men, but Lifechanyuan believes that no one has any right to suppress their feelings or activities. No matter how many men she might have associated with, it was her decision, and everyone has freedom in their conception and practice of love. She preferred to live a natural and unrestrained life even at the cost of her life. This was absolutely her own business and had nothing to do with other people. Has this given us any trouble? Lifechanyuan is willing to offer support to these kinds of people. We wish that women everywhere could break the chains of their traditional concepts of their human natures and strive for their freedom and love. Couple parties. There was a journal from South Africa which described in detail the situation of swingers parties, or couples parties. It really refreshed people's spirits after reading it. Couples parties are events in which several, even as many as a dozen couples, hold regular gatherings in a club. The married spouses separate to form new pairs as they wish or randomly by lot. After the pleasure gathering, each couple returns to their spouses peacefully. These kinds of relationships between husbands and wives are worth advocating because every pair of couples tires of each other after living together for several years. Even if you were eating a variety of exotic delicacies every day, whoever you are, you would become bored with your food however delicious it was. So changing your diet to even simple food such as cabbage and carrots would be refreshing. These families are not destroyed, society is not disturbed, and it is good for one's health and their family's harmony. So in Lifechanyuan, couples parties are advocated. Sex parties. A group of people who share a common faith and where there are no violations of the principles of love are willing to live together. This is their freedom of love and no one is blameworthy. I wonder why moralists love to blame them severely. Could they formulate a perfect rule to help them live their lives more happily? If the answer is no, then what gives them the right to interfere with their lifestyles and criticize them? Anyone who cannot lead a happy life had better not advise anyone else how to manage theirs. It would be much better to give them their own space, more understanding, and no criticism. Loose and faithless women. I was once deployed to do my job in a new place. A lot of new colleagues informed me that was a loose woman and to stay away from her or my reputation would be ruined beyond repair. Their words piqued my curiosity, but gossip was a powerful thing, and I dared not get close to her because doing so might have invited their contempt. By accident, this woman greeted me at a company gathering after a year. Oh my God, what should I have done? I considered rejecting her, but that would have been improper and impolite. Accepting her? No. That would have been like jumping into a fiery pit. I had no choice but to force myself, masking like a sacrosanct moralist for answering her greeting and hoping that she would stay away from me. Please don't ruin my political career. I am a promising department manager. Unexpectedly, this loose woman seemed unaffected. She was so shameless that she did not even respond to my indifference. Rather, she stood there talking to me politely and gracefully, being neither humble nor pushy. Standing there and listening to her for almost half an hour, I found myself becoming more and more interested in her story. I eventually came to realize that she was really a considerate and unusual woman with abundant sentiment. Her humiliation, grief, indignation, idealism, and beautiful dream for her future moved me deeply. Her words were logical and reasonable, but neither flirting nor flattering. It was not until she said, "Thanks for listening to me," that I realized that this woman had been hurt by the indifference, numbness, and societal prejudice. It was not her, but us who had dirty souls. It was not her, but us with despicable natures. She was like a small white rabbit among a crowd of wolves being discriminated against and insulted helplessly. It turns out that what seems normal is often abnormal, and what seems abnormal is often normal. Lifechanyuan is willing to rehabilitate people who have been discriminated against and humiliated due to such loose women and lifestyle issues. Your souls are beautiful, and what you have suffered is unfair. Regarding the phenomena of people's infidelity to their spouses, there are often more tortuous and complicated meanings which require large spaces to make them clear, and I will discuss them later. Love triangles within marriages. I have been transferred from rural areas to cities, from campuses to factories, from being a public official to becoming a businessman, and from living in my home country to living abroad. I have witnessed so many tragedies and miserable conditions of families where innumerable men and women have lived lovelessly and even hellishly, enduring great physical and spiritual torment and waiting for their salvation or liberation. They were like prisoners staring at the outside world numbly through cold steel bars and stretching out their hands and pleading, "Help me. I need freedom. I need love." This phenomenon is even more complicated than the above examples with both reasonable and unreasonable aspects, so it is difficult to reach conclusions. If you are interested in this topic, someday in the future, I will write some analyses for you to read. Conclusion. Affectionate love is a precious gift bestowed upon us by the greatest Creator. A life without it is imperfect because it is the most splendid part of a beautiful one. Denying it is denying life and thus deviating from the way of the greatest Creator. Affectionate love is the embodiment of human nature. Without it, there would be no exhibition of human nature. Therefore, suppressing or destroying it is destroying human nature. All human morality must be based on the promotion of human nature, and any that ignores love has no humanity. As humans, we must be humans first, and then celestials, Buddha, or gods. To expect people to have the standards of celestials, Buddha, or gods is a defilement and destruction of humanity. Everyone has the right to choose their lifestyle, but nothing, including religions, political parties, and governments, must ever impose their views of love on others. Always consider how you will live through this lifetime before thinking about the next one. The greatest Creator wants people to enjoy their lives, but very importantly, to enjoy an affectionate love life. Anyone who does not enjoy a good love life cannot understand the true intentions of and cannot revere the greatest Creator. My dear friends, go and pursue your own love passionately. Postscript. This article was written about a year ago and I dare not publish the full text. Only parts of it are published here. The main reason is that this article might arouse anger among traditional people because of its corrupting public morals characteristic. Today, I read an article written by Mr. Guaziyi in the Lifechanyuan blog, Defense for Yangzhaning, Contest Edition, and got inspired. Fortunately, some of our fellow countrymen still keep cool heads, so I took the liberty to publish it to serve as a target for criticism by righteous men. 在论生命禅院的情爱观和性爱观, Lifechanyuan's viewpoint on emotional love and romantic love. Dayform Celestial. October 31st, 2006. Translation edited by Care. Lifechanyuan's viewpoint on emotional and romantic love is based on the greatest creator's structural settings and spiritual consolation plan for the human body's physiological structure, and is based on the demands of heavenly life, so that people can self-refine and self-improve themselves until they finally reach the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, or the Elysium Celestial Islands continent. The greatest creator produces everything from sunshine, air, water, salt, mountains and rivers, plants and insects, and beasts and birds, to our eyes, ears, noses, tongues, bodies, 5 visceral senses and 6 entrails, for limbs and hair, and all the rest. All these things represent the greatest creator's blessings and its love of humans. To enjoy these blessings is to love the greatest creator. Only those who understand this truth and enjoy this love fully can be grateful to the greatest creator and can walk on its way. What are the most wonderful things in your life? What are the most fascinating and unforgettable things in your life? They are emotional and romantic love. How did you feel about your first love, when you held hands with a member of the opposite sex for the first time, kissed for the first time, were embraced in his or her arms for the first time, made love for the first time, and experienced your first orgasm with them? How do you feel when you are passionately in love? How do you feel when you admire and miss somebody? How do you feel about yearning for the opposite sex? How does it feel when your lover comes to your side when you are in distress? One night couple, 100 days grace. Why? Why are people willing to die for love? Why do they risk being rejected and losing their life for romantic love? It is not difficult for a person who is physically and emotionally normal to feel the wonder and beauty of emotional and romantic love. Experts have written many articles and books on the structures and functions of male and female genitalia, and have also written countless ones on the roles and influences of sexual psychology and emotional and romantic love on human spirits and psychology. Even if you have not read any of them, almost all adults have sampled it personally. Is it not wonderful? Have you not felt comfort and ecstasy brought to you physically and psychologically? Emotional and romantic love are gracious gifts that the greatest creator has bestowed upon humankind. They are the most precious experiences and enjoyments in life. To enjoy emotional and romantic love fully is in line with the will of the greatest creator is not shameful or immoral, but fair and open. They are the worthiest of ideals for which to yearn and pursue. For thousands of years, people have been ambiguous and secretive toward emotional and romantic love, still holds partly concealed, sanctimonious and hypocritical, created countless injustices, and set up layers of barriers and obstacles. The reasons for these are complex and multifaceted, but the main ones are nothing more than these 8. In order to maintain social stability, authorities feel that they need to sacrifice and suppress people. In order to protect the masks of the saints, feudal elders had deliberately raised children to elevate romantic love to a moral height that would frighten anyone. Like giving up eating for fear of choking, people who have suffered on their road to romantic love have instigated the general public to abandon it. In order to deceive the public, powerful people who have enjoyed romantic love have tried to spread deceptions and lies in order to cover up the truth, like people finding gold mines and becoming afraid of losing their exclusive rights to them. Poor people who could not get grapes told people that they were sour because they did not want others to have what they could not get for themselves. People who are physically and mentally unhealthy discredit and demote romantic love unconsciously because they have never been able to enjoy normal loving relationships. Private ownership is a psychological cause. People deliberately exaggerate the facts and set up numerous obstacles artificially for fear that they might lose their spouses or their children might get hurt because of them. Specific unhealthy relationships bring such terrible impressions to society, families, and individuals that many people would rather bear simple diets than enjoy the delicacies they offer. Now is the time to correct people's distorted understandings of emotional and romantic love. If we cannot solve this problem well, then people will remain ugly, hypocritical, chaotic, and immoral. Lifechanyuan values tell us that everyone is independent and has independent will. No one should impose theirs on others, nor deprive them of their qualification and rights to enjoy emotional and romantic love. As long as they are consensual and do not violate ethics or harm public civilization and order, they should be allowed to do whatever they want. You can enjoy unmarried life, but you have no right to restrict others from getting married. You like monogamy, but you are not qualified to oppose polygamy or polyandry. You can enjoy celibacy, but you cannot prevent others from getting married. The patterns of emotional and romantic love are colorful and multifarious. Which pattern you choose is your personal affair. Everyone has the right to choose what is most suitable for them. Never say that lewdness is the worst of all sins. In my opinion, domination is the worst of all sins. Dominate this, dominate that, dominate emotional and romantic love. As long as there is domination, there will definitely be lewdness. If there is no domination, then there is no lewdness, no abuse between husbands and wives, no conflict, no cuckolds and loose women, and no pimping and prostitution. If there is no restraint, then no one will be unfaithful to their mate. We especially emphasize consensual love. 3, 8, or even more people can all love each other if they are willing. As long as there is the slightest reluctance, it is not love, but harassment and a crime which should be punished by law. Human lives last only a few short decades, so is it necessary to create pain and suffering artificially? From the perspective of the sublimation of life, the more colorful that one's emotional and romantic love are, the more beautiful, civilized, and cultivated one's heart becomes. The more tedious, unreasonable, obsessive, and likely to hurt others and society they are, then the more easily one becomes psychologically distorted and abnormal. Many people throughout the world are involved in self-improvement and self-refinement. So let me ask what their purpose for doing this is. No matter how many ways one does it and what their meanings are, we can find a common purpose for this. That is, to escape from darkness and hell and raise their life toward heaven. Where is heaven? Heaven refers to the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium world in 36-dimensional space. It can be said with certainty that as long as you are baptized with the values of Lifechanyuan and self-improve and self-refine according to them, then more and more of you will find these 3 levels of heaven. How do we go to the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, or the Elysium world? I say surely that as long as you do not understand and enjoy emotional and romantic love and do not sublimate to them, from this human world to the non-material world, you will never find heaven. Emotional and romantic love in the human world are cautious, sneaky, and full of risks, but in the 1,000-year world, they are free and upright without the slightest risks. There are no families, couples, or lovers there. People are all emotionally rich celestial beings, and they are all each other's sweethearts. It is even more exciting in the 10,000-year world, where lovers do not touch each other's bodies physically. Their vibrational frequencies are so high that they experience extreme joy and happiness from just their thoughts. Super celestial beings in the Elysium Islands continent are androgynous and always enjoy extreme joy and happiness. Here, I have only talked about Elysium Islands continent. Other parts of Elysium world have their own characteristics about which the Buddha knows. What I want to tell you now is that your human consciousnesses are impure and your non-material structures are imperfect and defective. If you want to go to heaven, the higher level of life space, your consciousnesses must be purified. To purify them, you must raise your level of understanding, become enlightened, transform your thinking modes, change your consciousnesses, self-improve, and self-cultivate until your consciousnesses can resonate with life in upper-level space. Otherwise, you will not even be welcome in my home, let alone heaven. Emotional and romantic love are core contents in life's consciousness. If you want to continue to reincarnate into the human world, then you should keep handling emotional and romantic love according to the moral laws of mankind which have prevailed for many millennia. If your goal is the 1,000-year world, then you must follow the 1,000-year world celestial beings' way of handling them. Accordingly, if you want to go to the 10,000-year world or the Elysium Islands continent, then you must deal with them according to their standards. The question becomes how to achieve celestial standards of dealing with emotional and romantic love. Can someone who has never driven a vehicle drive one safely and effectively without training? Suppose you get a raw or diamond. Could you see the brilliance of 7 colors without cutting, sanding, and polishing? Could you mount it directly into a crown or make rings, earrings, and chest pendants? Of course not. Those with sexual frigidity can scarcely achieve orgasms, and some will never experience real ones in their lifetimes. How can they achieve orgasms? The only way to transform their consciousnesses is by practicing, along with increasing how often they achieve orgasm. It will become easier for them to become excited. Sometimes they will even be able to achieve orgasm immediately with very little foreplay. Ultimately, there will be no need for physical contact between the sexes at all, just a few words or a look in the eyes, and even objects and pictures will cause orgasms immediately. It is only then that one can rid themselves of their low-level emotional and romantic love and sexual bondage in the mortal world to achieve 10,000-year world celestial being standards. The flexibility of an acrobat's bodies is the result of long training. Do not expect to do sexual acrobatics without training. Lifechanyuan values are unified entities. You are bound to be deformed if you only attach importance to emotional and romantic love, but pay no attention to other life aspects. Emotional and romantic love are effective links in the overall program. Without them, the entire program will run ineffectively or even crash or become paralyzed. Self-improvement and self-refinement are both simple and complex. There is no way for you to walk through them easily and go to heaven by fluke. No way. The above is an integral part of Lifechanyuan's viewpoint on emotional and romantic love. If you want to have a comprehensive understanding, you must read all the relevant articles of Chanyuan Corpus and Xiefeng Corpus. 人类新生活第二家园介绍 An Introduction to the New Life of Human Beings. Home Without Marriage and Family. Xiefeng, August 6, 2009. We have set the pattern of new lifestyle for human beings, which is the home without marriage and family of Lifechanyuan. This is no longer an armchair strategist's fantasy, yet it is the reality. General outline. To carry out the ideas of returning to one origin with 800 life values for new era human to bring human beings into the Lifechanyuan era, in which country, religion, party, marriage, family, conjugal relation will disappear. No one pockets anything found on the road, doors unnecessarily to be shut in the evening for no thieves drop in, favorable weather is all the year around. All things on earth are in harmony with each other. Everyone is happy and has good fortune as one wishes. This is the era of Lifechanyuan era. Management mode. Home without marriage and family implements the holographic management mode. The gist of the mode is that no management is the best management. Constitutions, laws, legislations, institutions, commandments, dharma will not be put into practice, and 800 life values for new era human will be the guideline. Dealing with daily matters with concepts of omnipotence ever-changing, changes interrelating each other, stimulating and motivating the qualities of truthfulness, kindness, beauty, love, faithfulness, and honesty in human nature, and creating a proper external atmosphere to bring those qualities in full play. All are carried out voluntarily without administrative enforcement. Establishment of institutions. Lifechanyuan has one institute and 256 branches in the world. President of Lifechanyuan equals to the president of global government. Presidents of the branches equal to the highest local administrative representatives, and they are in charge of planning and arranging daily production activities and life of the branches. Each branch has 3 major departments: living department, education department, and production department. Property and life management. According to the principle of having nothing but having all, properties of the home without marriage and family belong to all the Chanyuan Celestial, and they don't own anything individually. The home without marriage and family undertakes the entire daily expenses of each member, provides allowance for the seniors, and brings up the children. Supporting the seniors is no longer the personal matters of sons and daughters, and nurturing children is not the personal matters of parents anymore. Everyone does his or her best and takes what he or she needs. There is no supervision mechanism on spending, neither does strict accounting system. The time one needed, he or she can spend. Working arrangement. Home without marriage and family doesn't have executive orders or forced arrangements. Everybody chooses his or her job in accordance with his or her hobby, personality, and specialty. Home without marriage and family ensures that each member has his or her own job and works for 6 hours every day. No one will lose the job. Moreover, everyone just does one thing at home without marriage and family, for reason that this is mutual service system. Each person has a clear division of labor and is responsible for his or her own job. The cook is responsible for cooking, the washer is responsible for doing the laundry, the dustman is responsible for cleaning, and people who are responsible for producing just do the production work. Everyone carries out his or her duty and minds his or her own business. If someone asks for help, people will help him or her unconditionally, and if they don't ask, other people won't get involved in their personal matters. The daily timetable is arranged in person. You may work at night and sleep in the daytime, and you may also get up late and work in the afternoon. You can do everything following your inclinations, as long as you have done your own job and fulfilled your duty. Relationship of the members of home without marriage and family. No matter one is tourist guide, president, the relationship between members is like a family. Blood-related relationship is the one between fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, grandparents and grandchildren. Relationship between men is like brothers, and relationship between women is like sisters. Relationship between men and women of different ages is brothers and sisters, and men and women who attract each other are lovers. There are no distinctions between superiors and inferiors, leaders and workers, supervisors and supervises, hosts and guests. Everyone is equal. Life arrangement. Under the condition of not being luxurious and prodigal, home without marriage and family tries its best to make everyone eat well, wear well, live well, use well, play well. Everyone has one bright bedroom at disposal, which is equipped with spacious toilet and bathroom. Everywhere is spotless and quiet. Flowers are blooming and trees are flourishing. People take their meals at dining halls. The home also has public recreation room, teaching hall, laundry place, gymnastics, school, medical care center. People mainly have vegetarian food. The dining halls serve vegetarian food and meat dishes respectively. People can take what they like. There are plenty of snacks for people to enjoy. Special care is provided for people who need it. People don't gamble or smoke. Alcoholics are not respected. The weak have been taken care of by specially assigned nurses. People can use the computers and phones anytime they want. There are no holidays at the home. Anyone who wants to take a day off, he or she can do it. Traveling is decided by members themselves. The home throws a party each week. Everyone can play an instrument, sing, and dance to show their talents. When members are gone, Lifechanyuan will take care of it with its own funeral and interment institution. Everybody has at least 1 hour of collective study on spirit and mind purification per day. In order to keep spiritual, mental, and physical health, half an hour is set aside for exercises and gymnastics. On love and sex. Love is a precious gift granted by the greatest creator to mankind, and sexual love is an inevitable path that sublimates human nature to a higher space of life. Love and sexual love are similar to the dance of two hearts with the same tempo. As long as man and woman fall in love with each other, they can do whatever they want, and no one will interfere or gossip. Lovers don't occupy or envy each other. On the contrary, they respect each other's freedom, which is higher than anything else. They never do any harm to each other, mentally or physically. Honesty prevails throughout society. Normally, people don't lock their rooms, and the room keeping public properties in the daytime. Up to now, no one has lost an item. Each member's bedroom is definitely his or her private space. Anyone who hasn't got the owner's permission is not allowed to get in. If someone wants to get in, he or she has to knock on the door first. He or she can come in until after permission. Sweet and harmonious. People are loving and intimate. No quarrel and dispute concerning interest and hobbies should occur. Staff members are sent to the airport, train station, and bus station to pick up people who join home without marriage and family and people who are leaving. Safety is ensured. One is free to come and go. Everybody uses civilized language. No one speaks bad words and talks nonsense. Everyone speaks gently with an amiable manner. No one shouts and yells. Unless there are collective activities, otherwise, the entire home is quiet for 24 hours. Everyone behaves decently and dresses neatly. Vulgar behaviors are not allowed. There are no untidy persons. Everybody is the owner of home without marriage and family. No one is allowed to reprove, scold, supervise, and force somebody else. Members walk in their own shoes and don't interfere with others. They don't control mutually, but provide services to each other. Members don't build up a special relationship, Their relationship is quite simple. All financial activities are strictly under the scope of laws and decrees of the national and local governments. Home without marriage and family doesn't bring any trouble to national and local governments. Home without marriage and family advocates members should learn the spirit of Lifechanyuan. When we are outside the home, we should take good care of the seniors, the weak, the sick, the disabled, widows, widowers, and orphans. We ought to put other members' interest before our own, and leaving the convenience to others and keeping the inconvenience to ourselves. Home without marriage and family is made up of Chanyuan Celestial from Lifechanyuan. It is not available to people who are not Chanyuan Celestial. It allows the related governmental departments and sections to come and inspect, permits communications with associations, and allows reporters to report the facts practically and truthfully to the society. We don't admit entry to other people. The economy of the home depends on all members. In accordance with national laws and decrees, we gain everything through hard and diligent work. Other than Chanyuan Celestial, we don't accept donations from any organizations, associations, and sponsors. Not a penny. Members of the home must strictly abide by 800 life values for New Era Human. Those who don't uphold it will be eliminated from the home without marriage and family. Home without marriage and family is trying to explore a new way of life for human beings. We believe, when everyone on earth lives their lives according to the life mode of home without marriage and family, afflictions of mankind will be lessened. Each man's pain will be eased, deterioration of the environment will be curbed. Human beings will definitely enter into Lifechanyuan era which will last for 1,000 years. 关于第二家园物质生活标准的设想 Ideas on the material life standards of the second home, now new oasis for life. Xiefeng. December 31st, 2009. Songhai Celestial indicated, if the present standard of diet will be the ideal state of Lifechanyuan era, the so-called best living style of human beings in Lifechanyuan would be still in name than in reality. This is a very good indication. In the related articles about home without marriage and family, I mentioned many times that each celestial in home without marriage and family would enjoy a separate bedroom and bathroom, and it would be better with a small garden. The standard of living will be at upper middle level in the world. Looking from the above ideal standard, home without marriage and family is far behind the previous expectation. At least the standard of a bedroom with a bathroom for each does not come up to what has been expected. In land of idyllic beauty, there is only one bathroom for 30 people. As far as food is concerned, the standard of living in home without marriage and family has been at upper middle level in the world. You may take a look at the situation in Africa, India, the Arabian countries, the ordinary people in Chinese mainland, and most people in Southeast Asia. The only inadequate supply in the dietary structure is meat in home without marriage and family. Except that we are in need of nothing. But, the focus in home without marriage and family is self-improvement and self-refinement, and one of our principles is basically on vegetarian diet. Therefore, the so-called in name than in reality standard of living is actually wrong from the one of meat point of view. Housing quality and hygienic conditions will be improved later, but the diet will be at the present level. Eggs, Chinese tofu, vegetables, soy sauce and seasonings, steamed buns, dumplings, steamed twisted rolls, deep-fried dough sticks, noodles, and rice are ample for supply. This is enough, and it is very difficult for further improving our diet standard. The housing condition is relatively safe and clean. Most celestials' beds are made of wood, and mattresses and quilts are in good conditions too. So, nothing should be complained about these. What people wear every day is provided according to the change of seasons and specific requirement. None of these are of famous brands or in fashionable style. They are very practical. In the aspect of transportation, home without marriage and family will rent vehicles or sent for those who need. Transportation fee for going business downtown will be paid by the home too. In the aspect of communication, internet is available in home without marriage and family. Many people have cell phones, and there is no problem about this matter too. Cell phones are personal properties and the bills are paid personally. Undoubtedly, there is a rainy day in the life of everyone. But I had emphasized that we are here pioneers for constructing the home rather than enjoying. It is not a pioneer's spirit and mind for asking these questions about the standard of living. Moreover, All of us are masters of home without marriage and family, and the unsatisfactory part in the home is related to all of us, not only the guide and the president themselves. We should be all responsible for it. What I must emphasize here is that all expenditure of the home now depends on the donations of our brothers and sisters, and we cannot use them all in improving our living standard. The improvement of life must consist with the material reality. Thus, it is improper for asking too much in this respect. There should be a process for the realization of things, especially those impractical demands by now. Moreover, enjoyment should be proper to what you have devoted to the construction of the home. And it is only that what you have devoted must surpass what you obtained is it possible to pay off all the debts which have been accumulated in several generations and realize your dream for marching toward heaven. Much expectation for high level of life, enjoyment with little devotion, would be very improper for being a Chanyuan celestial. I wish every one of Chanyuan celestials will embrace the spirit of those people of Red Army who traversed the long march, the snowy mountains, and the marshes, will embrace the spirit of the Tang priest and his 3 disciples on their way to spiritual mountains. We should enjoy high-standard life in spirit and mind instead of in material expectations and desires. Otherwise, our enterprise will make towards secular things, to corruption and degeneration. Viewing the human society mode of life in the future from the perspective of Lifechanyuan. Dayform Celestial. March 5, 2007. Future human society is called Lifechanyuan era. The characteristics of Lifechanyuan era are no country, no religion, no political party, and no family. No one pockets anything found on the road, doors unnecessarily to be shut in the evening for no thieves drop in, person of virtue won't be abandoned away from government. Honesty prevails throughout the world. Everyone is happy and doesn't worry about his daily life. Maybe somebody will laugh at this by saying, wishful thinking, daydream, fantasy, or impossible. It is right and impossible if it is just preaching or conceiving. But it can be possible if a crowd of people are making practice and their practice is effective. First of all, Lifechanyuan has successfully carried out a series of activities without the consciousness of country, religion, political party, and family. And there would be no country, religion, political party, and family if more and more people, regardless of their races, become Chanyuan celestial. Maybe some people will find it amusing again. It is good enough for a small party fun, but it is absolute daydreaming if you want all of human beings enter into Lifechanyuan. Hi there, you're right. But the problem is that we don't mean to let all human beings enter into Lifechanyuan right away. As long as hundreds of people on the planet believe in the idea of Lifechanyuan and live a happy life, that will prove a success. And by that time, just think of it, people will try to enter into Lifechanyuan by all means. The scene is just like a drowning man and a straw. You will see it when the time comes. The mode of future human society life will be the life of Chanyuan celestial. Many people may not be able to see it in their lifetime, but they can understand it. Hard to believe, right? Wait and see. The blessed ones will see it when the day comes. 欢迎进入生命禅院新家园. Welcome to Lifechanyuan the new home. Dayform Celestial. October 2nd, 2006. A lonely stranger in a strange land would miss his family all the more on every festive day. The Home for Soul is newly built up. People from all over the world are able to join and become neighbors. We miss someone every day, yet we may not see him or her very often. Now that the home is built up, our dream has finally come true. People from different parts of the world come to the home, and our life embraces a fresh start. Dear brothers, sisters, relatives, and lovers, distinguished guests, welcome to Lifechanyuan the new home. Let us hold our hands and walk shoulder by shoulder to continue the life journey. It has been 3 years and 7 months since Lifechanyuan, home for soul and spirit of mankind, was established. Lifechanyuan has gone through many twists and turns in recent years, and now it come to the royal road at last. With green shade growing in the oasis, fountain trickling through the desert, gospel of heaven coming down from the sky, the preface to the idealistic era craved by human beings has appeared on the boundless and immeasurable horizon. This is a home shared by Buddha, Bodhisattva, angels, men and women with pure heats. It is the teaching hall where abnormal thinking and fantastic idea can survive and people getting to know the greatest creator, studying Jesus Christ, Buddha Sakyamuni, Muhammad the Prophet, and celestial Lao Tzu. It is the passage through which telegnosis being opened, revelation being granted, 36-dimensional space being known, and the thousand-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the celestial islands. Continent of Elysium world being entered through temporal transverse direction. It is the starting point of the new era of Lifechanyuan for mankind, the headquarter of ideological structures, the cradle where spiritual masters being given birth to and nurtured, the paradise friends being made and lovers exchanging heartfelt words. In a word, this is the stage we ascend to the higher realm of life. Open the windows and the sunlight and fresh air will come in. Take a broad view, and you will see faraway mountains are fresh and green. Stay and study in Lifechanyuan will a new life begin. You will see clear paradise scenes. It has been proved that, having been baptized by the concepts of Lifechanyuan, people are different from ordinary people. They are unique and free from vulgarity and come out of Egypt of mind. Men's race, which is the life non-material structure, has sublimated to the life structure of celestials of heaven. Consciousness has already cruised in the infinite and boundless universe. Chinkuan Buddha explained the body, facies, and usage of Tao. Buddha of Taiji conveyed to us that mental state determines life of being and way of life. Foshan Buddha expounded the basic relationship among consciousness, structure, and energy. Master Tianlai Celestial told us that targeting at the same aim, different ways would lead to different results. Tourist Guide Dayform Celestial proposed that material thinking, image thinking, associative thinking, elusive thinking, visualized thinking, Taiji thinking, non-form thinking, and holographic thinking altogether depict the roadmap of heaven. Buddha, masters, fairies, and fairies of Lifechanyuan are also intelligent. New thoughts occur to them every day. There are hundreds of new notions in Lifechanyuan, which open up a fresh world for us. Master Nanji, Master Lingyuan, Master Chaojun, Master Ji Rue, etc., who have explored and practiced many self-refined ways convey us with their own experience that the self-refined ways of Lifechanyuan are most direct and effective. You have to deepen your understanding first and transform the way of thinking. The core of Buddha Dharma is transformation of the way of thinking. Nothing can't be accomplished, only are those one can't even imagine. The self-refine of Lifechanyuan is not for obtaining exceptional functions. However, we can foresee that there will be many Chanyuan celestial with exceptional functions appear in the near future. As long as getting along with each other at the backyard of Lifechanyuan for a while, unfamiliar people will become intimate brothers, sisters, relatives, and lovers. Like a family, people will exchange heartfelt feelings, no argument, and no discrimination. No jealous, no doubt, people make joint efforts and combine together. The fact proves that Lifechanyuan is the best home under heaven, and one can never find a better place anymore. Lifechanyuan neither has rules nor regulations, let alone executive leaders. Chanyuan Celestial doesn't shoulder any duty or responsibility. People feel at ease under all circumstance, meet and leave by chance, do whatever they like and go anywhere according to their own will. People's acts are driven by inclinations of heart, yet they never cross the moral line. Everyone has a moral court of conscience. They exert self-reflection, self-punishment, self-correction, and self-accomplishment. No one can impose his or her will to any other people. The aim of Lifechanyuan is to hold high esteem in the greatest creator, life, and nature, and to walk the greatest creator's way. As the highest state of life, we want to initiate Lifechanyuan era. As the highest state of being, our ultimate goal is to go to the celestial islands continent. There is no long lane without turning. Passing through the dense fog, crossing the rough way of life, we finally find our home for soul. From now on, life will no longer felt lonely, confused, staggered, and pathetic. The scene in front of us is magnificent, and our future is infinite and eternal. We are embraced by telegnosis of the greatest creator and walk on his way. We are vigorous and healthy, and may all our wishes come true. Confucius said when he was by the river, time passes like this water. Time is precious. Time is money, yet you can't buy it with money. The year 2013 is not far away. Dear beloved, I love you, and we love you. Don't hesitate. Opportunity knocks but once. Come on. Let us take life as a game, join each other and travel to the celestial islands continent to enjoy the eternity of life. 建设一个精神和心灵的家园. Build a spiritual and soul homeland. Xiefeng, June 12, 2003. Open the windows and the sunlight and fresh air will come in. Take a broad view, and you will see faraway mountains are fresh and green. Stay and study in Lifechanyuan will a new life begin. You will see endless good fortune in future world. Lifechanyuan is a mental and spiritual habitat, a spiritual homeland for people who are ordinary, kind-hearted, honest, hardworking, and knowledgeable. A college to understand the meaning of life and the significance of human life. A transfer station leading to supreme life space. When you feel incompetent, exhausted, and gaunt and confused, you should take time to Lifechanyuan to listen other people's understanding of human life, to experience the peaceful atmosphere, to see if there are unworldly higher beings. There are 36 dimensional spaces in the universe. Every space is a huge world which includes supreme life space, low life space, and middle-level life space. Lifechanyuan will present people the mysteries of every life space. Through explaining the universe, time, and space, Lifechanyuan will escort people to set foot on the road of super space and run to another beautiful and attractive life world. Human life is full of misfortune, suffering, regret, and helplessness. Troubles and worries tangle us all the time. Many puzzling mysteries of human life make us feel contradictory. Unpredictable situations and unexpected good or bad fortune make us anxious. Undesirable and troublesome things often make us sleepless. Disease and hunger often threatens us. From time to time, the complicated and changeable interpersonal relationships entrap us into the painful abyss. Survival competition oppress us. Make our tired body lost in a miserable swirl after another. Why is human life like this? Why can't we get out of the trouble? Why can't we control the track of our own life? For thousands of years, intelligent people look for answers. Jesus, Sakyamuni, Muhammad, and Lao Tzu make painstaking effort for us. Marx, Lenin, Mao Zedong, Thomas Jefferson, and Lincoln exert their utmost efforts for us and try to build a peace world in where everyone is equal and happy. Moses, St. Paul, Mahavira, Zoroaster, Manes, Fatuomonii, Dante, Sais, and other sages undergo hardships to lead us into a joyful and happy family. However, the true answer seems far away from us. It still needs to take a long way to get closer to the shore of the truth. The development of the science provides us the key to the truth. Einstein, Newton, Galileo, Faraday, Stephen Hawking, and other scientists pave steps to the door of the truth for us. Edison, Rockefeller, Henry Ford, and Bill Gates create necessary utility tools for us. Plato, Ibn Sina, Zhu Xi, Aristotle, René Descartes, Bacon, Adam Smith, Rousseau, Voltaire, Malthus, Darwin, Freud, and other masters provide us necessary tool of rational thinking. Now, it is time to carry on the past heritage and open up the future, to rectify our foundation and to purify our origin, to absorb the essences of human intelligence and to develop a new era. Lifechanyuan not only solve the problem that if there is the greatest creator, the origin of the universe and life, the necessity and incidental, the karma, the previous life and the future world, the God, Buddha, and celestials in the universe, but also arrange the best way to people, strive to liberate you from suffering, lead you to develop into supreme life space, and make your life bring out beautiful flowers in the everlasting space. I hope people who want to self-refine in mortal world could participate in Lifechanyuan, such as hermits, religionist, president, Nobel laureate, billionaire, scientist, entrepreneur, literateur, public functionary, teacher, worker, farmer, rank-and-life soldiers, merchant, and homeless tramp. As long as you can explain a question about universe, space, or life and your theory can't be demolished, you can make contribution to Lifechanyuan. Lifechanyuan doesn't belong to a country, a nation, a religion, a political party, or an organization and individual. Lifechanyuan isn't a religion form, so there isn't special ceremony and demand. Lifechanyuan isn't a company, so it doesn't participate in activity aiming at profit. Lifechanyuan isn't a political party, so it doesn't have constitution and doesn't participate in any political activities. Startup words. A ship full loaded with new life is sailing. A new era is coming. We are in an era of economic growth, material prosperous, spirit poor, and heart gloomy. An era which pay much more attention to reality and materialization, and an era of lacking belief. Cultivate conscience, educate mankind, seed civilization, and enlighten spirit, which are every sage's glorious mission. It is the calling of the era to build a mental and spiritual homeland. The greatest thought is rational thinking. The rational power is the most powerful power among humankinds. Compared to the 36-dimensional space, human beings are in a very limited world. So we need to tell ignorant people the vast space system and let them know the principle of, why am I being me? What do I live for? First of all, a great era must be guided by a great thought. If there aren't powerful supports from the mental and the liberation of the spirit, the economic development can but result in human beings' universal corruption and decadence. Although thoughts of sages in history shine lights of rationality, none of their thoughts can meet current people's mental and spiritual desire. Although all religions make indelible contribution to the civilization of mankind, every existing religion has its limitation and can't guide current mankind. A theory, a thought, we have to doubt it if it exists over 1,000 years, but can't bring peace to the world and can't bring joyfulness and happiness to the life. A theory or a thought, if it can't be accepted heart and soul, but be accepted by putting to use state apparatus, power and institution, inflammatory and fraudulent way or material lure. If it promises a bright future, but can't figure out the scene, we have to think deeply about the theory and thought. A theory or a thought, if it can't make people enjoy the happiness of this present life, if it thinks that only suffering can get otherworldly blessing, it is either pettifogging or irrational. Before everything is clear, firstly we should believe in science, truth, and logical deduction. We believe that people standing at the peak of science is closest to truth. Undeniable, the great soul surpasses science and space-time. Their thoughts can't be accepted generally, which is the sad part of the great soul. If the great soul can't bring humankind current happiness and future hope, its value is less than a rainfall. Lifechanyuan is a place to gather great soul. The great soul isn't life from low life space and middle level space, but from supreme life space. Before the World War I, the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium world has sent millions of supreme lives to mortal world the great soul. Lifechanyuan is to tell these great souls that, instead of enjoying the joyfulness in mortal world, you come to mortal world is to explain the mystery of the universe, the essence of human life, to save people who have a rough time, and to make people enjoy happiness and joyfulness in mortal world. You can never make transmigration in mortal world again, because you will lose your nature and your way to home once you went through transmigration above 3 times. The greatest creator loves and cares humankind. Before material prosperous and moral degeneration, he has to save people from disaster in case of resulting in the flooding tragedy of Noah era. When people have no fear of force, then great force descends upon them. We must make people know the meaning of these words. Henry Van Dyke was an American author, educator, poet, playwright, and clergyman once said, "Men of privilege without power are waste material. Men of enlightenment without influence are the poorest kind of rubbish. Men of intellectual and moral and religious culture, who are not active forces for good in society, are not worth what is a cost to produce and keep them." You are great soul with great thought. If you were a president and only considered your own political party, group, and private benefits rather than the benefits of the whole country, you couldn't be called a great soul. If you had university education but don't service to humankind, you are not a great soul. If you get wealth from the world but don't want to pay back to society, you would be an inferior soul. If you were an advanced official, only try hard to win promotion and to get rich and to make one's ancestor illustrious, instead of bringing benefit to your citizens, you are also an inferior soul. If you don't make progress but lead a befuddled life when you make a little achievements, you aren't a great soul too. Great soul among human beings should be taken to supreme life space. Inferior soul among human beings must be taken to the low life space. Nobody wants to place the excrement of the toilet in the living room and place the good wines and dainty dishes in the toilet. Even so, the human beings, how about the order of the greatest creator? Only when the people around us are happier, the greatest soul can calm. Only when we contribute our knowledge to human society selflessly, our soul is capable of getting into the supreme life space. Open the windows and the sunlight and fresh air will come in. Take a broad view, and you will see faraway mountains are fresh and green. So you should open the window to the soul and fix your vision onto further future. For millions of years, human beings always feel their way in the confusion situation. They don't know there is always room for improvement. They suffer meaningless hardship, pain, and sorrow. Because people don't know the mystery of life, they trample their own and other people's life. Because they don't revere the greatest creator, they can but transmigrate again and again among the low life space. Because there isn't a great sapiential guide, we have to follow the wrong guidance blindly. Hardly can people ask himself that, what am I busy for? Is it significant to my life? What is the difference between myself and the onrushing worm? People living on instinct, fame, and emotion can but fall into the same old trap forever. The frog in the bottom of the well always thinks that the place it lives is the ocean and sea, the sky it sees is the universe. People living on intelligence can have good view of thousand rivers and million mountains. However, people living on spiritual nature can pass through the limitation of the space and enjoy the infinite charming scene. In boundless universe, don't lead a befuddled life in the low life space. Don't fight and grab in the worldly confusion. Don't sigh in the wrong thinking vortex. Don't destroy life and ultimately hurt yourself. The ship of Lifechanyuan will take people possessing intelligence and spiritual nature to the ocean of the truth to enjoy the real pleasure of life. The greatest creator is just, because he arranges procedure of place where people should go in future strictly depending on people's actions in mortal world. People with higher spiritual nature can go to supreme life space, and people with lower spiritual nature must go to low life space. Tao is just, because it records everybody's deeds forever. People who follow the principle of the greatest creator and want to pursuing the truth, please contribute your talent and knowledge. Don't sigh for injustices around you. Don't crush out your intelligence and wisdom. Don't think you have no future. Don't hide at home to suffer. Your life will release multicolored anima if only you seek for the Tao of the greatest creator. Then you will find out that you aren't the person you imagine. As long as you work hard, you will be loved by the greatest creator and the humankind. The ship of new life is sailing. To people who want to follow the way of Jesus, Sakyamuni, Muhammad, Lao Tzu, and other sages, those who desire to explore the mystery of the time-space, those who want to go to supreme life space and want to have telepathy, please get on our ship now. Lifechanyuan will take you to an unimaginable, secret, boundless, wonderful, relaxed and happy, excited and desirable place, where is the proper place to place our life. God is always with me. God will always be with you. 将开心快乐带给他人和社会. Bring joy and happiness to others and society. Xiefeng, June 9, 2008. The purpose of life is to pursue joyfulness, freedom, and happiness. No matter it is the social system and religious doctrine, no matter it is to run business or to hold mass organizations, both should depend on this purpose. Everything depending on this purpose corresponds to the Tao of greatest creator, the humanity, and the meaning of civilization. Otherwise, it will be disordered and imperfect, and is deviated from the meaning of civilization. Chanyuan Celestial is the most cultivated and most civilized people in human society, whose action is in strict accordance with the instructions of Christ Jesus, Buddha Sakyamuni, Celestial being Lao Tzu, and the sages in the history. The goal of our living is to get into heaven, the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, the Elysium world, or the Celestial Islands continent. The purpose of our life is to enjoy joyfulness, freedom, and happiness. That is to say, we should not only make ourselves live a life of joyfulness, freedom, and happiness, but also make others gain a life of joyfulness, freedom, and happiness. It is Chanyuan Celestial's basic accomplishment to bring joyfulness, freedom, and happiness to their parents, brothers and sisters, partner, children, neighbors, friends, workmates, and other people whom we are destined to meet. The one who brings others worry, trouble, suffering, constraint, crises, danger, quarrel, and fight is not a Chanyuan Celestial. Especially in the family of Lifechanyuan, Chanyuan Celestial has to bring joyfulness, freedom, and happiness to each other. If they bring suffering to others, they would betray the values of Lifechanyuan and the greatest creator's Tao. You have to suffer your share of pain and pay off your own debt by your efforts. You should build your own road and walk your own way. Chanyuan Celestial just pursues reality, goodness, beauty, love, and honesty, desires to see the bright and brilliant aspects, desires for joyfulness, freedom, and happiness. Nobody can pour his worry, complaint, detestation, discontent, and negative mood into Lifechanyuan family, even pollute the purified spiritual and mental spaces of other Chanyuan celestials. God helps those who help themselves. Lifechanyuan follows the principles of the nature. Every Chanyuan celestial must be an independent, unhesitating, and promising stronger instead of a complaining, indolent, and helpless weaker. If you endeavor bravely, I will give you a helping hand. If you indulge yourself, then there is nothing I can do. Before crossing the opposite shore, every Chanyuan celestial is looking for his own survival. Everyone needs to be supported with increasing energy and the comfort of spirit and heart. It is forbidden to steal, grab, and expend the energy of other Chanyuan celestials. Chanyuan Celestial is a company to travel life together instead of an organization which is bounded together for responsibilities, obligations, and liabilities. So every Chanyuan Celestial should be responsible for his words and actions, and for himself as well. You are the master of yourself, so whatever you say and do depends on your own will, not on the enforcements of others. Whenever you say foolish words and do foolish things, you should shoulder the responsibilities, and you can't complain other Chanyuan Celestials. Every Chanyuan Celestial must be clear that Lifechanyuan is not an organization with any nature. Lifechanyuan is a spiritual and mental homeland and will never be an organization of politics or religion. It will not impose responsibilities and obligations to anybody, neither will it be responsible for anybody. What Lifechanyuan publicizes and advocates is a kind of value on human life and life. It won't monopolize or replace the actions and living of anybody. Please remember you take action by yourself, and it has nothing to do with other Chanyuan Celestials or Lifechanyuan. If you think you are cheated, I will say you are not being responsible for yourself. You can't blame others. Furthermore, I want to emphasize 3 points of view. Firstly, the identity of Shuefeng is a tour guide of human life and life rather than a boss and a leader of somebody, even not a master. Whether the tourists follow the tourist map or not depends on their own will. The tour guide has no right and qualification to compel them. Secondly, our deeds must accord with words in Lifechanyuan. We never do things which are not written in Chanyuan corpus, Shuefeng corpus, and other articles of tour guide. We never do something stealthily. What we are doing is fair and upright and should withstand the test of fact, science, and logic, and the monitoring by the human beings. Shuefeng did not arrange any activities rather than the publicized in Lifechanyuan and network. There are not any activities in Lifechanyuan except for publicizing Chanyuan values and constructing home without marriage and family on network and Lifechanyuan's website. If there are more than that, it must have nothing to do with Lifechanyuan. In a word, everyone must face the greatest creator directly, should be responsible for himself. You don't have to be responsible for other Chanyuan celestials, for Lifechanyuan, and for Shuefeng. It is the grace of the greatest creator and our fortune to get into the spiritual and physical homeland to travel human life with people who think and work and echo with you. Every Chanyuan celestial should value this opportunity and feel grateful. One should bring joyfulness, freedom, and happiness to other brothers, sisters, relatives, and lover as possible as they can, shouldn't desire to control or dominate others. In this family, we can talk our understanding on human life and life, talk our cognition to the universe, and talk the suggestions on constructing Chanyuan family and developing Lifechanyuan era. We can encourage and praise other Chanyuan celestial. Chanyuan celestial can communicate with each other, but they can't direct and educate brothers, sisters, relatives, and lover in Lifechanyuan except for Saint Yang Heaven Earth Buddha, Mortal World Heavenly King Foshan Buddha, and Sage Taiji Buddha. We shouldn't impose our will on others in the name of maintaining Lifechanyuan and Shuefeng's fame. As long as we bring joyfulness, freedom, and happiness to others, we are doing merits and virtues, and creating the Lifechanyuan era for humankind. 开创一个理性、祥和、人性的时代. Create a rational, peaceful, Humanistic Era. Dayform Buddha. August 29, 2004. From 2988 BC to 2012 AD is a cycle of life in universe. At the end of the circle, the supreme level life space, mortal world and low-level life space need to be adjusted because of the equilibrium of their life amounts are in critical point. Take mortal world as an example. Because the amounts of animals decline sharply and are disproportionate with the amounts of human beings, lots of people have to return to the animal world. In the same way, during hundreds of years, the celestials coming from the super worlds to fulfill their mission have to return to super worlds. Non-material structure possessing the standards of inferno, frozen layer and inflamed layer must be thrown into the hell, and the one who have achieved the perfect human nature's standard have to get into the 1,000-year world, have achieved Tao have to get into the 10,000-year world, and those who have achieved Buddha have to get into Elysium world. For those who are reaching the perfect human natures, yet still unperfect will be left in human world to reproduce and develop. From the time Lifechanyuan appears on the planet and in the man's world, the heaven world will successively dispatch some celestials, angels, to the world to help those remaining in mortal world to experience a hard time. The celestials will not show up in the form of extraterrestrial or other visible forms, but will attach to human beings' body to perform its program of balancing the life in universe in the form of the psychic energy. I don't know whose body the celestials, angels, psychic energy will attach to, but I am sure the one attached is the blessed one, which is coincidence with Xue Feng's poem, "Butterfly flock around when flowers are blossoming. Good wishes and wisdom bubbles when your heart is peace being. No disease bothers you when your heart and body are clean. Celestial will you be when you only think of a mortal thing." The talented and wisdom men in Lifechanyuan should be prepared psychologically. Listen attentively to the guidance of your souls. Be ready to be unified with celestials from super worlds at all times. If we know the honored guests are coming, we should make a thorough cleaning in and out, light incense, eliminate dirty air, and wait for their arrivals. Guidance from psychic energy should never be suppressed by the rational values. We should realize that the values we keep may be functionless and totally wrong. We should try our best to be in the unconsciousness state. We'd better make a thorough formatting to our knowledge, experiences, values, and mode of thinking, reinstall the psychic energy from the source of life, remold ourselves thoroughly, and be a useful member in the new era after 2013. Along with the constant understanding on the mystery of the universe and the true meaning of the life in Lifechanyuan, someday, you will experience an indescribable passion and impulse, sense the mystery calling from the celestial beings. Realize that you are not an ugly duckling but a white swan, just like awakened suddenly from a dream. Once this sign occurs, it proves that your heart is connecting with the psychic energy from the resource of life, and celestials are attached to your body. You can do whatever according to the guidance of the psychic energy. One thing needs to be cautious is, no matter in the past time, nowadays, and future, there are lots of people who are attached by devils, will confuse all living creatures and content against Lifechanyuan. But these devils led by Satan are not heterodox doctrines, they are also performing and maintaining the balancing program of the life in the universe. If Satan and his fellows don't create obstacles and troubles in mortal world and don't strive to lead parts of people into the lower bound, and nobody wants to reincarnate to animal but wants to go to the super worlds or stay in mortal world, the universe will collapse. Just like a person split into two halves, if one half is dead, the other part is unable to exist. To the life in universe, both Jesus and Satan are important. It is a unity of opposites. Mankind's view of Satan as their enemy and a devil of swallowing life are an extreme misunderstanding and injustice. In fact, Satan is truthfully fulfilling his duty. Satan and his fellows have to try every way they know to prevent all human beings going to super worlds, for example, money, beauties, power, status, pleasure, fame, exceptional function and religion conflict, and so on. It is like the policemen who hold the door of the conference hall and prevent the swarming crowd. Why does Dayform Buddha only call for 2% people? 2% of human population is 130 million, and these people will be left in the planet to create a rational, peaceful, and humanistic era. Maybe Dayform Buddha will be scolded as heterodox doctrines and ignoring other 98% people. In fact, Buddha coming from the greatest creator doesn't ignore other people, but other people refuse to be taken care of. Except Shuefeng's inner strength, everything in Lifechanyuan is presented clearly. Who will believe in Shuefeng's values except for a few sages with spiritual nature? Will communist, Christian, Buddhist, democratic personages, or members of Falun Gong practitioners believe this? No, they won't. Of course, better not. If the number is over 2%, Lifechanyuan will be out of order. Jesus has declared that everything should use parables, which is hard to understand to those who are going to be thrown into hell. However, if they can understand, they will not go to the hell. And if the hell is empty, the balanced heaven can't exist. Celestial being Lao Tzu sighed, "My words are very easy to know and very easy to practice, but there is no one in the world who is able to know and able to practice them. They who know me are few, and I am on that account the one to be prized." So, from now on, we should apply for the visa to the kingdom of the new life circle. It is very easy to apply for this visa. Reverence to the greatest creator, reverence to life and reverence to nature, and following to the greatest creator's Tao. There are few people traveling on the path of life, just like the revelation shown to sage-like type in the dream. A couple of people climbing up the Xiefeng mountain with great effort, and there isn't a busy scene to be found. If we look around and follow the steps of the common people, someday we will find that we are at the door of the hell. After the adjustment of the life and universe, human society will be a rational, peaceful, and humanistic era. It also will be an era needless of the great men and heroes, an era with harmonious nature and ample food and clothing, and an era without fighting and grabbing and mental disease. The greatest creator has given us free will. Whether to go to the heaven or to go to the hell, that totally depends on your own choice. Satan and his evil spirits can only satisfy our desire on the material and flesh. They can't control us wholly. In the end, you have to take your own path. Since we have free will and the rights to choose our path, we should open up new ways forward to the rational, peaceful, and humanistic era. 懒惰是第二家园大敌. Laziness is a big enemy of home without marriage and family. Xiefeng, August 31st, 2008. I roughly browsed the reasons of the final failure of some ideal communities in history. The result is that all of them are killed by laziness. Everyone is busy in seeking enjoyment, reaping the fruit of others' labor, or drifting along. As time passes, the building of the ideal homeland collapses. In order to make home without marriage and family established by us to flourish, grow, and enter into the ideal state, we have to learn from the lessons of history. So the number one enemy of homeland is not others but laziness. It is the long-term strategic target for home without marriage and family to conduct the life and death struggle with laziness. Every member of home must possess the elementary qualities such as rising up on hearing the crow of a rooster and practicing with the labor tools, getting up at the crack of dawn and cleaning the courtyard, making a firm resolution to make good, constantly striving to become stronger and working hard every day. Diligence can achieve the good future, and laziness can even ruin the blessing of God. Laziness can destroy everything. It can make one sink into vice, can corrode one's will, spirit, mind, and physical body. It can ruin a whole diligent community, influence the healthful spirit of a community just like virus. At last, it makes everything stay in the doldrums, dead as a doornail, depressed, and finally decay to extermination. Laziness is a kind of virus, is the biggest devil for a man. Once laziness becomes his second nature, he will gradually become a walking corpse and running flesh to harm himself, others, and homeland. Someone summarizes, the lazy man is bound to be an ordinary man. An ordinary man is bound to be a complaining man. A complaining man is bound to be a painful man. A painful man is bound to be a misfortune man. And a misfortune man is the lazy man. God helps those who help themselves. Heaven helps those who help themselves. Natural law punishes those who are lazy, and heaven will abandon those who are lazy. Diligence symbolizes beauty, and laziness represents ugliness. The 8 features of laziness are as followings. Seeking no progress but ease and comfort. One is indifferent to anything but prefers reaping the fruits of others. Irresponsible for anything but prefers loafing, muddling along, and eating the bread of idleness. Stays up late at night and gets up late in morning without regular daily life in a weary state. Indulging in games with no desire to make progress. One idles about all day and muddles along without any aim. Sluggish and lazy, and never perfects one's skill but only pursues leisure and fears hardships and fatigue. Greedy on eating, sleeping and playing with a confusing head and four lazy limbs. One never participates in anything personally or carries out self-criticizes, but prefers complaining, grumbling, and criticizing the industrious people. Sluggish, prefers postponing and performing one's duty in a perfunctory manner with numerous excuses. One finally accomplishes nothing. Running water never becomes putrid, and a door hinge is never worm-eaten. Excellence in work is possible only with diligence, otherwise everything is ruined in laziness. Once laziness becomes one's second nature, he will idle away everything into nothing. If one is diligent, one is skillful in everything, otherwise if one is lazy, he will be accompanied by countless illness. The tower of 9 stories rose from a small heap of earth. The journey of 1,000 miles commenced with a single step. A small leak will ruin a big dam. The beautiful homeland will be ruined in laziness. So home without marriage and family will fight against laziness from beginning to end. For homeland, the laziness is AIDS, cancer, viral dysentery, robbers, and devils. How to carry out the life and death fighting with laziness. The Chanyuan celestial equipped with laziness are not allowed to enter into home without marriage and family. The Chanyuan celestial equipped with laziness and remaining impenitent are not allowed to live in home without marriage and family. Anyone who pities, tolerates, and sympathizes with laziness means committing a crime to home without marriage and family. The lazy guys will be disdained by the others in home without marriage and family. No one is going to associate with lazy persons. One radish, one hole. Do not leave any opportunities for the lazy persons to utilize. Home without marriage and family will regularly organize some community studies to analyze the lazy thoughts, lazy habits, lazy style, and lazy psychology. Once there is any incipient tendency, we will get rid of it from our thoughts. We will praise, eulogize diligence, and award the highest honor to the diligent people. Home without marriage and family belongs to all Chanyuan celestials, and every Chanyuan celestial is the owner of home without marriage and family. If someone regards home without marriage and family as hotel or private company and regards himself as migrant job-hunting boy or public servant, he makes a mistake on cognition. If home without marriage and family is regarded as the manner of Shuefeng or the dean, it is an even bigger mistake. Only when each Chanyuan celestial regards oneself as the master of the home and perform the duty and obligation of the master, home without marriage and family can flourish and grow. All our ideals can realize in home without marriage and family. Adam and Eve are forced to leave the Eden because they do not know how to treasure. The ideal communities in history disappeared under the erosion of laziness because the people do not fulfill their master's duties and responsibilities. Whether home without marriage and family can move on continually to the ideal shore depends on the efforts of each Chanyuan celestial. Whether we can survive or die depends on whether we can defeat laziness. 千年界生活拷贝内容 The contents of copies of life in the 1,000-year world. Xiefeng, translation edited. June 8, 2010. Home without marriage and family, which is created by Lifechanyuan, is a transfer station from the mortal world to heaven, the 1,000-year world, and also a transfer base of self-improvement and self-refinement to heaven, the 10,000-year world, the Elysium Islands continent. The life in home without marriage and family copies the lifestyle of the celestial beings. In the 1,000-year world in them, live according to the lifestyle of the celestials in the 1,000-year world. It is the basic guarantee for us to achieve the consciousness and quality of celestial beings in the 1,000-year world and finally reach the 1,000-year world. The contents of copies of life in the 1,000-year world. No marriage, no husband and wife, no family, men and women neither marry, nor are given in marriage. Nobody is capable of possessing any private property. Non-possession ownership is practiced. Individuals' basic needs are to be met by collective. Each does his best. Each takes what he needs. Everybody has her tasks and takes corresponding responsibilities. They serve mutually and they owe each other nothing. No leaders but differences in responsibilities in arranging and a director for mediating life and work. Anyone who is able to work must undertake a job, regardless her age or gender. No idlers here. Each member participate in the collective learning and recreational activities voluntarily. To keep the environment clean and tidy, everything is orderly, peaceful, and warm. There is no constitution, no law, no regulation, no commandment, and no dharma. There is only holographic order. Be collectively responsible for the support of the elderly and the raise and education of the children. There is no currency or reward. Everything is done in accordance with the natural instinct. Hold a variety of cultural and recreational activities. No temples, Taoist temples, monastery, churches, and idol worship. Neither burn incense nor kowtow or offer sacrifices. No witchcraft, magic, martial arts, Taoist magic, arts, and other superstitious activities. Respect for science and make the full application of science and technology to serve the people. No financial industry, commerce, accounting, courts, lawyers, soldiers, policemen, and prison. Be cremated after death without leaving the ashes, the graves, or memorial places. Do not produce any form of lethal weapons or competitive tools, appliances, or toys. No tobacco or cigarettes. 2 meals a day. All members take their meals at the canteen. No eating the meat of wild animals, and no eating any animals, including poultry and livestock in the end. Outdoor bathing places, bathrooms, restrooms, and toilets can be used regardless of gender. Be free in love and sex. Be free from interference and control, as long as they are willing to do this, regardless the number of people. There is no conception of father and kinship. The baby will be raised and educated by full-time nursery staffs and institutions after her mother's lactation period. All members change their habitats for one time every 3 years. The global standard of living is basically unified, no luxury, no waste. Everyone will be guaranteed for sharing living resources. Each member enjoys a separate bedroom, which is absolutely free from disturbance, supervision, and control. Follow the way of the greatest creator in an all-round way. The above is just a basic copy of the content of Life in the Thousand-Year World, and there, left a lot of content and details which will be adjusted and changed according to Lifechanyuan value that Dharma sets no rules, it is ever-changing. Keep the main but change the others according to the situation. Everything will be carried out for everyone's joy, happiness, freedom, and blessedness, and focus on the care for nature, the cherishment of life, the reverence for the greatest creator, and the sublimation of the quality of life. 全面吸纳新时代意识 Comprehensively absorb new era values. Dayform Buddha, March 20th, 2007. New era value presents us a broad prospect of spiritual and physical world. Staring from Seth, then Oren, The Law of One, Cryon, Wingmakers by Huzi, series articles by Chinkuan Buddha, Conversations with God, Disappearance of the Universe, and so on to A Course in Miracles. New era value is an enormous and complicated system. It inherits, protects, and develops almost all wisdoms of sages and saints. The field it spans from science, philosophy, psychology, biology, noology, urinology, parapsychology, pathology, space theory, religion theory, theory of universe creation, and theory of life origin, to the Christ, Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching, and supreme masters in India, such as Osho, Bhagwan, and Krishnamurti, etc. It was almost all-inclusive and unusual brilliant, laid a good foundation for human beings into a new stage. The human species is changing. The human beings in Lifechanyuan era will not be the same today. It is an inevitability of history and the evolution of human race to eliminate and purify human being who will step from physical state into spirit and soul state. Their survival will not merely depend on material things, rather depend more on energy of spirit and soul. Lifechanyuan consciousness refers to the new era value. What mentioned above are the foundation and organic parts of Lifechanyuan value. Lifechanyuan will link the multitude pearls together by the string of following the path of the greatest creator, and make them into one so as to provide a bright way for the progression and development of human society. Comprehensively absorb new era values is a strategy for Lifechanyuan to carry out the policy of all-in-one. By discarding the dregs and selecting the essence, Lifechanyuan will embrace the new era by presenting a harmonious, peaceful, and joyful picture scroll to humankind, and fundamentally changing the environment of human life. Network as tremendous energy storage of resources was born for the new era. Its significance and value are far beyond the total value of coal, oil, and mineral resources on Earth, even exceed the amount of energy provided the sun. Make full use of the resources and energy provided by internet is a definite way for new era human beings. Everything should be developed according to the principle of minimum drag. Internet is much more rapid, economical, and convenient than any form of sermon and communication. So, the old pattern for spreading religion, such as writing by hand, will be replaced by the internet. There will be no future for clinging strongly to tradition, and conservativeness will be destroyed by the trend of the times. The only way out is to accept the new era value in order to step into the new era of Lifechanyuan. New era value mainly include: the universe consists of three elements: consciousness, energy, and structure. The whole universe is a great consciousness, and the great consciousness refers to the greatest creator. Every life in universe is a part of the consciousnesses of the greatest creator. Material world is the embodiment of consciousness. An individual world of life is a reflection of self-consciousness. As long as the consciousness exists, the soul will exist forever. The carrier of soul will vary with consciousness. Human beings have infinite creative ability and developmental potentials. Lifetime is just a brief trip for life, and the meaning of life lies in its process. Your destiny is created by yourself, so you should be responsible for it and stop complaining others. There is no conflict in pursuing of health, richness, freedom, and the promotion of spiritual nature. Humanity should move with nature rather than being oppressed. The core of improving the spiritual nature should focus on deepening the understanding, changing the thinking, perfecting the consciousness and the non-material structure of life, rather than on pursing the wizardry and extra-sensory perception. Everything is Zen. Everything is apocalypse. The secrets of the universe and life are hidden in the ever-changing natural phenomenon. The nature of the greatest creator is sex, love, and Tao. Following the principle and theory of sex, love, and Tao is to believe in the greatest creator. The greatest creator and other gods do not bring the soul to trial. 36-dimensional space is the model of the universe, which has channels, space tunnel. Past, present, and future are closely linked together through the time tunnel, and all of them can be changed. There is no such a thing which is changeless. The principle of change is the change of consciousness. When consciousness changes, everything will change accordingly. Love is able to purify our heart, perfect the non-material structure of our life, and has the quality of angel. So we should learn to love. Not only love ourselves, but also love other people and society, the greatest creator, God and Buddha, nature, and life. The key to happiness is to offer our love, release our love, always feel gratitude, and strive to create. The world we could perceive by sense organs is narrow and small. You should break the shackles, shift into a larger space, open your telegnosis, and see your true nature. New era value admits telepathy, but do not believe it blindly. Everything should be tested by science.